Welcome to what is the cheapest car for sale in Ireland now that's brand new. It's the Dacia Sandero, and it's a totally new model, and it's less than €13,000, which is quite incredible if you want to go for this 1 litre manual non-turbo 65 brake horsepower version of the car. The headlights even got premium stuff going on, like the Dacia logo on the side. The alloys, well, they're not actually alloys, they're hubcaps, but they look like alloys. And if you curve them, you can just get a new one for like probably €7. We've got plastic mirror housing. There are the wheels that actually look like alloys in front of drum brakes, but they're hubcaps. Back angle of the boot is nice and simple. The boot is 328 litres. Total first impression of back here is, oh, that legroom is actually very generous. Not too cramped at all. Nothing going on here for rear passengers to charge anything or storage on the back of the seats. But think of this as a no-frills car that will, you know, just get you around really, really cheaply. There's no armrest here either. Seats are still very comfortable. Bit of a gap here at the back of the legs if you are spending lots of time. But you can actually afford to drop your legs down a bit and they'll still manage to fit under the seats because they're nicely raised up off the ground, and your headroom is, that's okay too. Oh, and for those of you who perhaps are just too young to know, the windows are manual. I'm going to go down that far. Some of the retro quirks are an actual key. No keyless in this model of it anyway. There's actual little adjusters for the mirrors on the side. There's no button on the driver's control thing here. The radio, well, it's not there, but you do get it in your instrument displays and you can flick through stations there. But I love this. It's a little holder for your phone and it grips it into place no matter how big your phone is. And coming soon is an app that will have a Dacia interface on it, and that will all be controlled there. Presumably you can upgrade app updates on that, so that will sit there and that kind of plays the part of your screen, your nav and all that stuff. I haven't seen that before in a car. And then you get one USB input here. There's even a little handbag holder for down here or for a bin. You can hook things onto it, maybe a dog's lead, whatever, it's handy. Cup storage down here, an armrest, and really what more would you want inside a car that doesn't even cost 13 grand? So the engine is as noisy as I expect it to be. Going around corners, oh, that's a bit wide, but it's a 65 brake horsepower, non-turbo, 1 litre petrol car. And as I join the rest of the traffic around here, it's able to keep up with the best of them. The brake pedal sits a little bit high on my first impressions. But for the size of the car, 65 actually feels okay. Now, it's only me in the car. Straddle it down with some luggage and some passengers, and maybe I'd feel a little bit differently about that. But, yeah, it doesn't actually feel... It's a bit noisy now, it's a bit growly. It doesn't really feel underpowered. I wouldn't be afraid of the 65 brake horsepower engine, particularly if you're someone who is usually travelling with just you, or maybe one other passenger, a bit of shopping in the back. It's actually quite alright, and for tipping around town, it's going to be fine. Overtaking now and using fourth gear for loads of torque and stuff, you will notice a little bit of a lack of power there. But if this is a little tipping around town kind of car, A to B type stuff, it's actually alright. I like the gearbox as well. It's a 5-speed manual. It's really direct and actually, again, feels a lot more expensive than you've paid for the car. And I think that's just a good general theme for this Dacia, actually. It's like, oh yeah, it's pretty good value, actually.
That's the Sandero hatchback. Now it's time for a look at the Stepway version,
which gives you a bit more practicality. Maybe you've got a bike and you want to stick it on your roof rails. You can adjust them with a little key in like 5 minutes and they come on the car. Different versions of it have got fancier wheels, color-coded body mirrors, the Dacia logo in the headlights, which make it feel pretty premium, and little bits of chrome around the front grille. You know, you're getting nice creases in the bonnet here. There's a 1 litre petrol engine that will do just over 5 litres per 100 kilometres. It's a 65 brake horsepower output. You can get it in LPG for no extra cost, and you can buy LPG for like 70 cents a litre. There's not a huge amount of stations around Ireland, but it can be done, and that version still has like 100 brake horsepower output. And then you can get it with less spec on it, so you've got 2 trim levels here in Ireland. They would be essential and comfort gives you more things. So these bright lights are on the upgraded version. They look good. Here we have bits of chrome on the front grille, fogs down here. Upgraded alloy wheels, diamond cut, bits of black on them. You get the plastic surrounds also here. I think they make people feel like the car is more rugged. Marketing speak, more of that along the bottom of the doors also. So depending on what spec you go, you're going to get keyless, which is just open by button here. The cheaper version of the car has a physical key. Here's the roof rails that you can lash a bike onto, or maybe a surfboard, or suitcases if you're going away on holidays. And that's the back of it. So it depends on the colour you get, but I think that one it's nice and bright and looks well with the extra spec on it. This version has a screen. There's a little device here that you can pop your phone into. Think of it like, a selfie stick. You can pop a phone in there and open it out like that, and see your phone the way you see lots of people carrying phones these days. The temptation, of course, will be not to touch that when you're driving. And I like the finish of this. It's kind of like a cloth thing going on. This more expensive comfort version of it, you get more comfortable seats, a bit more bolster support in them. Armrest is a bit chunkier. You get an electronic handbrake, climate control, a few more USB ports, and it's probably the one if you want to stretch to better finish on the steering wheel. You still get a 328 litre boot in the back. Again, this comfort version has a 12 volt socket in the back, but still no USB charging, but there's pockets at the back of the seats. So to me, it can be a bit of a jump, especially if you're going for the Stepway version of the car, but a lot of the kind of comfort spec is worth it. Still don't get an armrest in the back here, 2 eyes fixed either side, and legroom, just like the standard Sandero, is quite acceptable. These front seats are actually tilted back a bit and they're raised off the floor nicely. So again, headroom, probably a little bit extra actually in this car. It feels maybe like that, but it's Sandero's standard car space above your head is also very, very decent. Going to let you into a bit of a secret here. I've never driven an LPG car before, and I dare say a lot of you watching probably maybe haven't either, unless you were driving cars in the 1980s, which I certainly wasn't. So this is an LPG mode. It's no extra cost to get it. It's built into the price of the car, obviously, but it's, there's no, oh, you want LPG, that's going to cost you more. It's not the case. And I just think that's pretty interesting. Like, it's incredibly smooth. I'm now going to turn off. So there's a button, and I think you might feel a tiny drop in power where there's a change. And there's a click, and that's it. Non-LPG. Is it maybe a bit quieter? I don't know. And what Dacia have, I suppose, discovered in a sense is, well, not discovered, they know their customers like to save. They don't want to spend a fortune on running a car. So they've thought, hey, let's put LPG into it, and you can get fuel for 70 cents a litre at the moment. Now, it's not going to be that easy to find a station that has it. I will give you that. So this 90/100 brake horsepower version of the car, the engine does sound better than the 65. The manual version gets this LPG as standard, as I've said, and you can get the automatic version in it too. Visibility's, give or take, is the same. It's slightly higher up if you want that higher up seating position. I'm going to turn off my LPG now. It's just a touch of a button. You see the fuel gauge reset to a normal fuel. Let's see what are we getting in. Okay, so this one is averaging 7 litres per 100 kilometers. Again, it's the slightly more powerful output version of the car. It's definitely not as whiny. Definitely takes off with a bit more urgency there from a set of traffic lights joining a motorway here. So over the, if you get the Essential, then if you want to go for the comfort, it's about a 3,000-ish jump in the Sandero. Now, this version of the Stepway, you're up closer to the 19,000 euro mark, but still, even at 19 grand. So you're going to get the 6-gear gearbox, you're going to get proper climate, you get a screen that's like a tablet on its side, you get the holder for the phone, keyless, blind spot. There's a lot of extra bits going on. Again, this is more of a jump because we're not comparing like with like, but if you're going standard Sandero, you'll get all these things for 3 grand. There's a lot of extra going on in it. All it's missing really is a sunroof, and then what else would you want? You're still getting the cruise control, and then you have the LPG, non-LPG options. So there's like a tiny click when it starts, and that's it. It's on. In 6th gear, there's enough torque as well to change lane on the motorway and keep up with the traffic. It's not that noisy. God, I'm really impressed. It's a lot of car for 19 grand. Particularly, if it's your first car, or you're trading down, or whatever the case is. I was going to take the exit on the motorway, but I think I'll stay on it. So I think, look, a lot of us are going to want to go for the comfort spec, right? Sandero turns it into a 16 grand car. Stepway turns it into a 19 grand car. It's worth it, right? But if you really just want the basics, then the Essential Sandero, the value of it, it's a brand new car for the price that it is. But yeah, if you like your comforts at all, it's worth paying the few extra. Just the gearbox, everything, the power. It's like there's good torque in this in 6th gear. Oh, the average LPG figure, by the way, is 11 litres per 100 kilometers. So it does use more fuel, in case you're not familiar with them, but it is half the price. But then I kind of wonder, does it cancel it out? I don't know. But the fact that it's a no-cost extra makes it an interesting prospect. One other feature I wanted to try for you today, guys, if you are into wakeboarding or surfing or anything like that, okay, I've done this one screw, so that's done, but let's start a stopwatch and let's see how long it takes me to do the roof rails. So these will make it very easy if you are, carrying bikes, or you doing wakeboarding. I'm going to start this, right? I'm going to see how long it takes. So the first one's done. Let's call that 30 seconds. Let's add that on. Okay, so you get a little torque screw in the box. Left loosey, righty tighty. Okay, so these come off, and then they go across the front of sideways across your roof. Okay, so we lift this, it turns. They go in there. You can adjust slightly, I think. Get too far over. Or you can put these on this side, or you can move them back here. Well, that's good. That's very good. Comment below how long you think this will be, without watching ahead, of course. And if you're right, I'll pin you. What are you doing with the shag and screw? Where is the 432. Now, if I hadn't lost a bloody screw, I'd be sorted. 3 down, 1 to go. Done. Now, okay, they're not aerodynamically pointed with the slope bit in the front, but you get the idea. That took me. 744. Were you close? I'll ping you. So yeah, damn handy feature. Makes carrying loads of things really easy. Just don't lose a screw like an idiot, and you'll use that so often, especially if you do, adventure sports or extra luggage or whatever it is. That's good. In my opinion, we are looking at two serious market disruptors right here, particularly this Stepway. Sandero, great entry-level car, really affordable car, but this one with the comfort spec, I mean, you don't really need anything else if you don't want to do it. It'll do everything a car should do, and there's loads of safety, like the blind spot and stuff is standard. Why would you need to spend anything else? And a 5-year warranty. Tell you what, I've really been impressed by this one in particular. And if you're in any doubt or you've gone Dacia before, well then you're just going to get straight into this. But if you've always wondered, now is a good time to have a little look around, because this Stepway has really impressed me today. Loads of reasons to comment below, ask questions about the car, anything I can answer on spec and price and what I think of this or that. If you've got a comment or a question, leave it down below. Tons of ways as always to support the channel. This is good. It's like really, really good. Thanks for watching.